I
Hello,
agree.
everybody. Welcome to Untapped episode 21. Great to see everybody today. We got the Zoom camera, so we got us all three on here. Levi up in Hillsboro, Oregon, right now. We're ready to get in a nice little, good, short podcast maybe today. So what's been going up in the Hillsboro Hops? I saw you mowing down some pretty top level battles last night.
Yeah, we just finished up a 6 game series against Everett. I'm not really even sure where that is. You might know where that
Everett,
is.
Washington, yeah, yeah.
So we played them 6 games. We won the first four, and then the last two we got killed. But tomorrow we're off, and then we go to Eugene.
Oh, right on. Right on.
Yeah.
That's where I was born. I got family there. My uncle, I'm real close to. I'm gonna have to tell him. How many games are you guys there for?
6. So we'll be there Tuesday through Sunday.
On. That's awesome.
So
On.
it's normal doing 6 game series like that?
Yeah, that's what they do. They do 6 game series now, and every Monday is off.
Whew.
Yep.
So I
So you're
guess
basically uh,
you'll
staying
be
out
playing.
there.
Yeah, you guys will be playing Eugene again, right? Probably down there.
Yeah, we'll probably a couple times.
That's a good time, Dana. We might have to caravan up
All right,
there.
perfect.
The games are at the University of Oregon Stadium. They're at the college
Oh
stadium.
wow.
Watson Stadium. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. I think you and Taya, hopefully you get to explore Eugene. The town is pretty cool. It's a little more health conscious, I think, than even where you are right now. There's a lot of cool places. I think there's some decent jujitsu spots, stuff like that.
Yeah. This place is Hillsboro's like it's similar to West Virginia. It's a little bit more modern than West Virginia.
Yeah,
Like they have a Whole Foods and stuff like that where West Virginia they don't really have that yet.
that makes sense. Yeah, I saw you. It looked like you struck out. You did good yesterday, huh?
No.
What?
No. No. I mean I threw the ball well, but they like we lost 20-7 yesterday, so they were whacking
Oh,
everybody.
what
And
the?
yeah, it was just a shit show of a game, really.
I saw you strike out like a big batter though, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I threw the ball like when I don't even know how to explain it. Like I threw the ball well, but from a results standpoint, it wasn't good. But from like analytics and all that stuff, it was like better than I've done it in a while. So
Okay.
that was good, but the results weren't great
Yeah, I understand.
for whatever that's worth.
Heck yeah. I just went up to Pine Top Lakeside, Arizona. It's about 3 hours northeast of Phoenix. Nice mountain town. I don't know how big the population is. I think it's smaller than Flagstaff, but it's been growing pretty fast. There's a lot of new growth, I think, in that area. It's pretty high up. I think it's around 7,000 uh, feet up, but it's high desert. You get your pine trees and things like that, a good amount of trees. I hit a chemo Thursday. We had to kind of hurry up and do one because the stuff was growing a little fast. Is kind of built in the last 2 weeks, and then especially when we got into this week, I started to get more fevers and things that were for getting a more dangerous area, and the tumors are getting more painful. So thank God we were able to jump into one Thursday that I've done before, and so we hit that chemo, and it's kind of crazy because almost with once the chemo is about an hour, and almost immediately when I hit it, I get a sense of relief in the body that you don't even when you sometimes when you're carrying something like maybe when like Levi you were carrying that the shoulder situation you don't even realize how that it's there even you just kind of live with it, right?
Right. Yeah. It becomes like the new normal, like for
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You don't even remember what it feels like, but like the way it did before.
it's true. And did you get that sense like when you did surgery you kind of you beat yourself up in the surgery and you get some of this and some pain, different pain, but did you get almost a sense of relief in that pain like, oh my gosh, I've been carrying this around with me for a while?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
once it's just like, oh wow. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm sure you feel that a lot.
yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's a whole. It gets a lot of this stuff is mind stuff, so I have to over the time. I mean, I don't have to carry it for as long. Like, you're carrying that for a couple years, and then you're forcing your body to play through stuff. So I think when that happens, you put your system through more duress than a person realizes. And sometimes you do a surgery and you come back fast, but sometimes I was thinking sometimes it can take longer than you realize for your body to kind of get you back, because you got back to normal, but you went through a lot of stress that you don't realize in your body, carrying that pain and that injury around and stuff. It starts to mess with your little bit of your systems. And that it's amazing. I was thinking about this, is that you played with that for so long. You wouldn't have there's no I don't think you would have made it to that level that you got to if you weren't doing those crazy health optimization things. You know what I mean?
Right. I think for sure, like all that stuff's helped, but then it delayed it where it kind of went on for longer and longer. I always think about if I didn't do that stuff, then would it have flared up like immediately?
Man, that's a tough one.
You
Man,
know?
those things are crazy to think about. I get into that all the time. Like I'm constantly, and I wake up at night and I'm like, okay, and I like it. That's the thing. I'm not like, oh, this sucks or anything. I actually really enjoy this stuff. Like I don't necessarily, like, when I started to get more symptoms, I was like, oh no, because then I thought right away about what's this going to do to art. It's the people around me. If I was just up on a mountain by myself, it's like, oh, let's have fun with this. But even then it's like, okay, what do we do? Oh, good, we can hit a chemo. So I know what this is like. Let's see what's going to happen. Well, I know the pattern of this chemo pretty well, so I can really start getting into, trying to get my mind around. So I was right away. I think a lot of people in Arizona right now, man, this might be nice to me in Oregon, is we're all, maybe you got this, Dana, you're battling some kind of crud outside or whatever.
Oh, for sure. My lungs have been jacked up since last September. I've just been like, getting COVID a couple times. I don't know, the last 3 years or whatever. Yeah, I mean,
This
the air
air out
quality,
here, man.
yeah, the air quality is
Darn it.
brutal.
What is it when it seems like when it gets cold, and then again when it gets warm? Like, it seems like 90% of the people I know either got some kind of sinus or they got some kind of chest crud going on.
Yeah, every single time the weather changes, I get like a little bit of something.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I try to work through it. Like, I can kind of it doesn't I don't think it gets rid of these problems, but allergies or whatever is going on. But I feel like I can handle it better if I stay on top of my breath work a little bit and things like that. But it really hit me hard that I was like, man, I think the best thing I could possibly do for this weekend would be to get up in some fresh air. What I play around with, and I've done this a couple times before, is the first 3 days after the chemo, your red blood cells take a dip, and that's what carries the oxygen in your body. So, and that's what fighters do. They go up and they train high up in elevation, and you go up there in the first day, like, you're adjusting it's like your red blood cells drop, but then they start to adjust to it and they're producing more red blood cells. And then when you come back down, your body it doesn't have to work as hard. Plus you got those enriched cells. So you get kind of this boost. So that's kind of what I did. We were up there and even the boys were playing basketball and running through the woods, trying to utilize times to push myself, find things to push myself in the high elevation. And then even that they were kind of like, oh shoot, why are we feeling this way? And so I would crash like really hard, but then coming back down the mountain and I'm back, I can feel that boost in the body. So I wonder sometimes, like, the hyperbaric stuff, if there's something to
Right. That's exactly what I thought when you were explaining that. I'm like, isn't that the same concept as hyperbaric?
yeah, makes me want to go try a reliable source.
Yeah, you can. I wonder, maybe Art should look into that, getting a hyperbaric at one of his spots. I think you can get the tubes for like similar to the ice baths price.
Wow. Wow. I remember hearing that Michael Jackson slept in a hyperbaric chamber. I don't know much about that. Maybe he was on something. I don't know.
Holy
They
cow.
had hyperbaric at IMG.
Wow.
Damn.
You know,
Wow, that'd be interesting. There's one that looks I haven't gone in there and met the person, but the person that recommended it to me, it's like on Cave Creek, has a small place with one that I think you were talking about, where it's just one chamber that you go in.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not, you lay down in it kind of like a bed or something, and I guess it's not that expensive.
Yeah, that's that same type that IMG had.
I
I
might
know
have
you
I might have
you
to try that on like, because I could really spend it on those chemo days when my reds drop and see if it does give me a boost.
I know University of Clemson football, they got a indoor facility with a ton of hyperbarics.
Uh,
I was like, that's crazy college sports. Like they're Clemson, I think they built it's like 100-yard wellness center.
Man, the
Yeah.
I know the firefighters, they use it too, and it's one of the protocols. I was talking to a fire chief a few months back, and he was saying that they have to do it when they've been to smoke and like fire rescue situations. They'll do hyperbaric chamber work after that in recovery. So I mean, if the fire staff is using it, there's got to be some validity to it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. So yeah, we came back. I'm charged up. I'm ready. What happens in the next phase is my body kind of gets fevers because it's trying to deal with the cancer, trying to get rid of the cancer. It kind of flares up. So there's like some more growth going on in the neck. So it's annoying because I was talking to my doctor and I was like, man, I really want to train more and I want to do jujitsu and stuff like that. But I noticed that little irritation. And then he reminded me, he's like, yeah, he was like, you got to be careful because if it did create a little more growth or there was inflammation that kicked up growth closer this direction, then it could start getting into your arteries and cause a stroke. Or if it's growing here, what can it do in the heart? So he was like, we just got to, once it starts shrinking, then get to work. The next phase we'll hit is the white blood cells drop. So those are the ones that fight infection. When that hits, I just have to sleep more, sort of thing.
And then you said the trial is if you do that trial, that will start in a month.
Yeah, they're saying about a month. What we're battling with right now is they want me to go up there once a week, and the infusion for the chemo is actually once every 3 weeks. So I'd only have to be 2 days for that. And they want me to go up once a week so that I would do blood labs, which is they draw blood from my port. They could do it from my arm too. So my doctor is really frustrated, and me too, because why can't we just do them at Mayo Clinic here and we'll ship you the labs up there? I'd even pay a little bit extra or something. But I guess the pharmaceutical company is being real strict on that one. Their state regulations and things like that, they don't want to break. So my doctor's trying to work on that. If I have to go up once a week, ooh, I don't know. Because it's a lot of strain on the body when you're going through chemo. That if I could get three weeks between to kind of rest and recoup and get in a rhythm. But man, if I'm going up and I got to take an overnight to fly it up and fly it back, and I think Dana is a good one that knows about that with those Chicago flights. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, you're
Like,
basically you're like a touring artist, but at that point, it's
yeah,
not
so
ideal.
it's kind of hard because my doctor, like, we do this chemo, we're hoping that please, I ask for prayers or good thoughts on that because we want this one to work. It's pretty important because if my body adjusts to this class of chemo that I use, then we truly are, we're like, oh shoot, there's because this trial is something that's fresh and is something new and will at least buy me more time on the other ones. So making that pitch to pharmaceutical company, hopefully they get understanding. And the other side too is I'm really hopeful that if it's in one place, then eventually it's going to be here. So it's just kind of finding ways to get through it until it does come down here.
That's interesting that you have to like been like you have to go against the pharmaceutical companies, and
Yeah,
they can't just be like, what is best? Okay, what's best here?
yeah,
But
100%.
it's interesting.
Yeah, I'd almost like if they say no once a week. I surprisingly I've called through to the pharmaceutical companies in the past for different things, and they've always been good about somebody higher up getting back to me or whatever, and that worked in the past. Like when I couldn't get approved by an insurance company, I reached out to the pharmaceutical company and they helped me. So there's always an outside chance there too. But some of the pharmaceutical, it's like they have these pharmaceutical companies, but then they have almost like their own sub corporations that run these trials, and it gets to be attached to sometimes to college university research, and some of those people are harder to deal with, honestly. It's like
Yeah.
they're not, you deal with a business person in the pharmaceutical company. In my experience, they've been generally, you get some jerks, but generally they've been a little bit more understanding. It's that the university research seems to carry some kind of, oh, I am this person and we have to keep the rules.
Right.
And you were saying you didn't want to go and stay for like a month or anything, right? Because you just like any chance of you getting sick there just doesn't feel like it'd be good, right?
Yeah, if I went for a month, and it's like then I'd have to be for, I'd have to be for multiple months. I could go for, because of the
Right.
infusions, once every 3 weeks. Then the side too is, yeah, definitely, if I'm up there and something happened, I'm away from Ara, the boys. The business is just so many opportunities right now, so I kind of got to weigh it. And then being up there, I feel like too, the stress of being away from everything and not being there, probably
Yeah.
that's not gonna be good. And then ultimately I gotta, just kind of think, like, I wanted to talk, I've been thinking about fear a lot, the topic of fear. So it's like, what is, at the end of the day, just do our best, and kind of, if I had to, it was a life or death thing, or like, I knew absolutely, which I can't even think of a scenario. If I don't go up, if I don't go up there, I'm gonna die, sort of thing, then maybe you have to think about those things. But we got a really good Mayo clinic here. We got all these hospitals here. It's like, you guys can figure something out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yep.
Definitely. Did you
Do
guys
all you
watch?
can right
Yeah,
here.
that's
And
true.
then
Yeah. Did you guys watch UFC last night?
Ooh, for sure.
yeah, I watched the main. I think I just saw the main event. Oh no, I saw the co-main and the main event.
Yeah. I caught highlights of the Barbosa, and then I saw the main event. That knee that Barbosa threw. Whoa.
Oh my
He looked
God.
huge too. He looked, dude. He was massive.
I know.
Like he looked like a bodybuilder.
He did,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you wonder what's going on there in the lab.
Yeah, I mean, he looked shredded.
Oh, yeah, reliable. How old is he now? He's been in the game for so long.
32, I think.
Yeah,
Wow,
32,
that's it.
33.
He's pretty good though.
He seems old because he's been in a lot of wars, right? I mean, that beating he
Hmm.
took from, was it Gaethje? Or am I thinking a different fight? Seems
Yeah,
like,
that sounds about right. Yeah.
yeah, he took a
Didn't
rough
Yair
beating.
beat him up pretty
That's
good
right.
too, I think.
Yeah, right. I thought that was it after the Gaethje fight. He just took so many hard shots to the head.
How'd you
That
guys score the main event? It was
I
I
tough.
thought
Yeah, it was tough to score. I agree. Yeah.
I think they got it right. 3-2,
Yeah.
I would say. Yair was landing harder shots, but Max was landing 4 every time he would land 1. But that's typical. That's how Max fights.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Every time Allen threw a punch, it looked like he was throwing a truck at him, you know?
Yeah.
That kid's good, dude.
Holy crap.
His
Yeah, he is.
posture's weird though. He's all hunched over.
Hmm. And he's already a bit shorter for well,
I wonder what that's doing to him. I wonder
yeah.
too how much, I was kind of studying their footwork, and Allen's footwork was like not anywhere near. He didn't have that same kind of. He wasn't able to move lateral. I think that's why I had so much trouble catching him, because he used this to kind of move sometimes, and so up here he couldn't get his hips to move.
Yeah, I think he was surprised that Max could take his best shot. I think he thought that maybe because he landed his best shot a
Yeah,
couple times.
Yeah.
that's true.
And I think when Max was still there, he was like, "Oh man, this is not good."
Yeah, no doubt.
Is there
Oh
any
man.
fight news with for Sean or no?
No, nothing that I've heard. Trying to think. There's nothing new. They're just sitting on that May 8th or whenever that is fight that's coming up.
Henry's
Dang,
fight,
it's
and
already
then
that
he'll
soon,
just fight
huh?
Yeah, that's coming up real soon. Hey,
That's crazy. I'm
this
gonna
is
look
what,
that up.
3 weeks, and then hopefully they can turn around quick. That'd be
I know. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, they just scrap it out, and then one of them's okay. Whoever hopefully is the winner, and they can turn around in like what 3 months then.
Yeah.
I want
You
to
would
bet.
hope, unless one of them. I think that what's going to happen is Aljamain's going to win. He's going to go to 45, and
Me too.
Sean will fight Merab for the new 135.
Yeah, he's favored. He's favored -120.
Yeah. If Aljamain wins, I think if Henry wins, Henry will fight Sean. But if Aljamain wins, I don't think he'll fight Sean.
No, because Aljamain doesn't want to run into Rob.
Yeah, he'd rather just exactly. But maybe he would, because if Sean is drawing, you know what I mean? He might want to fight him for the money.
That's true. That I can't stop thinking about that knee that Barbosa threw. Like, what do you think,
Left him.
Levi? His function and his hip flexors. It was just so quick. And then I was hearing him a little bit on the post fight, and he was talking about that he just trained, that he waited for him to throw, because they know, that the guy, like that same thing he did to Frankie Edgar. I think it was Edgar. He's waited for that jab to be thrown and then the takedown. That wrestler classic of the jab to takedown. So he
Yeah.
just drilled that and waited for that. Waited for that jab. Here comes that jam, and he had that timed. And the way that he brought that hip flexor up there, man.
Yeah. It looked effortless. Like it was the perfect timing, because that dude was shooting in, and that guy was out instantly.
I know.
And it looked like he barely threw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder why they hadn't prepared for that. Maybe they did, I don't know, but it seems like, that if you did that before, if that's been his thing before, is hitting that knee after the jab, you probably want to scout that and be ready for that. Hey, if you throw a jab, be ready. He's gonna throw a knee.
Yeah. I think at that point, though, he's getting hit, he's just going to go back to his wrestling.
Oh, that's true.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, that makes sense.
But Billy Q is a scrapper, bro. He's gonna throw with anybody, and who knows if he really has a game plan. Kind of just gets in there and just grind them out. Those kind of guys.
That makes sense.
Who will
Yeah,
Max fight next?
I know. I was thinking that too. I guess he's just back up for the belt then. But Ilya Topuria, that was the guy I was thinking of. He's the dude that just wiped the floor with Bryce Mitchell. He's climbing up the rankings, I'm sure, at some point because he doesn't have a fight booked yet. Like he destroyed Bryce Mitchell. I don't know if you guys remember that fight,
I just saw
but
Yeah.
highlights of that. I didn't know what
yeah,
happened there. Was I didn't know if that was something where Bryce Mitchell, because he seems to be a little bit off lately, so I didn't know.
no, Topuria is just that good. That guy at 145 is disgusting.
Ooh, I'll
Yeah,
have to take a look at him.
He
yeah.
won't fight Max, though, you think?
There's just nobody else exciting in the division, really, because Yair and Volk are gonna get after it. They'll probably run back Volk and Max, and you know, that's really it. It used to be Zabit. Zabit was the guy coming up. I don't remember how to say his last name.
Max
Irrelevant.
doesn't like to fight he fights like once a year, I feel like.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
or
He usually has
or
wars
so.
though. 5 round wars, it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could do Max versus Sean. That'd be
Oh,
sick fight.
whew. Man, I feel like Max doesn't. He has good takedown defense, but I don't know about his grapple. Have you guys? I haven't seen him grapple much.
I
No.
think I think he gets after it though, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember seeing videos of him in Hawaii, him and his little. They have like maybe it was getting ready for Volk or something like that. Them just being in a hot room, just scrapping, doing jujitsu and whatnot. Because he doesn't spar, so what else could he really be doing other than cardio stuff?
I don't know about that.
Sean, that would be a sick kickboxing fight, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
such high level. That's just unforeseen levels.
Right. That's a big money fight, too.
Oh yeah, dang.
Dude, that could like
Crazy.
realistically that could happen in the next 2 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Max is only 33, right? Or 31?
31,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, so and Sean's
He's a great
28.
boxer.
Yeah, so
Jeez, that's crazy. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like Holloway's so much older.
I
In
know.
ring years, he is.
Yeah, he's been fighting since he's 20, I think they said.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like they've done so good with Sean, taking him up at the right age. You know, you look at this Rosas guy, he's an example of, you know, hey, don't jump up there too quick, you know, you got it's a long thing. These guys, some of these guys that are, you know, you're saying Barbosa is in his early 30s. He's like a 48-year fighter of some 48-year-old fighter of somebody else who kind of took their time getting up to that point and is the same age.
Right, because I think your prime as a man is probably 28 to 32.
I feel that. Yeah. In fighting, definitely. Yeah.
So, but a lot of guys are beat up by the time they're 32.
Oh, so true. Same thing in basketball or football too. If you, especially if you start early and you put your body through a lot, it can only take so much, so many months of hammering.
Yeah, I mean, in baseball, if you're like 25 or older in the minor leagues, you're pretty old.
Man, I've been waiting to ask you guys, pick your brains on on business stuff just real quick. Man, that's all I've been thinking about. All I've been just immersed in learning about franchising. Like, and I thought I knew about franchising, and then I realized, damn, I'm a white belt with no stripes. That thing goes deep in franchising, and it's so fascinating. Like, I really pushed to. I learned that you're not going to learn this stuff in the books or in a Google search. You got to find some people who have done it for a while. Is what you know, something like this, and you got to find somebody you can trust. Somebody's going to be willing to spend time with me, like talking to me about it and sort of teaching me and giving me the basics on it. And so I called around and I played the counselor card a few times, you know what I mean? Talked up the, you know, the whole thing and got myself into some guys that well, the main guy, he's here in Arizona. He's number two in the United States in franchising right now, and he's worked some of the with some of the bigger franchises. And he talked to me a lot about the Chick-fil-A model, for example, how you know you see one model and there's a drive-through there. I thought for TRC, for example, that we were going to be going towards a drive-through model, and I was really stuck on that model because it sounds good. You come in and you just pick your stuff up the window. I had no idea how costly a drive-through is, first of all, and second of all, if you're thinking franchising, to buy in on a drive-through franchise, it's going to be hard unless you're already established as like a national brand, like something like a Chick-fil-A or a In and Out. But then even then, these people are so good at what they do. They can break down what your model is. We're not a restaurant. We're a meal prep and stuff like that. But we're struggling because we're like, man, should we? There's a hub and spoke in franchising where you have one spot and then you've got your locations like a Dunkin' Donuts. They cook all of their donuts at one big, large kitchen warehouse, and then they distribute them. And each space has a tiny little kitchen, or you can build up you know, small kitchens in each place, kind of like a you know, maybe like an In and Out with a drive through or something like what's a franchise that doesn't have a drive through but has maybe like a Protein House or
Yeah.
one of those places. So kind of going back and forth between that. There's some pluses and minuses, but I'm really getting the sense to start. You want to start that first model right from the very beginning. We kept it simple with 3 meals. We kept these principles very simple and mastered those, and then moved up. Next step is we need a bigger kitchen. Our place is growing so fast. I've had to stop with the deliveries, getting business in because our kitchen is getting overwhelmed and our space just isn't able to handle it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm rambling on this stuff. I'm just, you know, you get into something like that, and it just starts to you're thinking about it all the time, and it's super exciting. And there's some really big opportunities ahead for TRC and things like that. So we're excited, but love to hear your guys' thoughts on that business stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely. Yeah.
I think because the product's so good, it's not gonna like you could go either way and probably be fine. But I think it just depends on what do you want to handle? Like I would assume that drive-through and stuff like that is gonna be more stressful than just more of like a protein house not that that's basic, but
Yeah,
it's
right.
a drive-through is like nonstop chaos, I feel like.
That's what they were saying. Like they were telling me, you hear that. I think a lot of us have heard that. You get like the Chick-fil-A model, and they've got it down to science where they know exactly how fast they got to be and what it's going to be. I think it's like something like 60 seconds or 90 seconds from when you get your order until you get to the window. And when they even go 10 seconds over that, they're losing thousands of dollars in one day. So that starts to keeping those people moving, that team of 12 people. That is a lot of variables to worry about. So these guys got pretty the guy that the team that I was talking to got pretty excited and think they analyzed, they broke down our business, and man, some of it was embarrassing, and other stuff they're like, you guys have potential. This place can, they're just openly honest with everything. There's, or whatever, and they say we could be pretty successful with a franchise. But I think getting that kitchen, like the Dunkin' Donuts model, seems pretty solid because, man, imagine that. You don't have to pay to have a kitchen in each location. You know what I mean? You just go,
That's
Dana has.
exactly what I was. That's exactly what I was thinking. Was like, so you have our cook all the meals, and then these other locations aren't so much of the same business model as what you have, but more of your like, here's somebody who manages all of our inventory of product and stuff for orders for the day. But then that means you have to have somebody come and pick it all up and then bring it there, and it has to be cooled. And oh
Yeah.
shoot, we can't forget any meals back at the regular TRC location because we have this one open for people to come to this one and pick up. So but I think that would be really cool.
I think the hiring process on that too would be a lot easier because then you're just hiring
Yeah.
chefs. You're hiring like chefs for one kitchen and then like your little staffs for like basically the drop-offs.
Right.
I like that. I didn't realize either that when you have a franchise in each location, if they're doing you gotta, well, McDonald's might be a bad example, but I'm trying to think of some kind of franchise that's a little bit, maybe even a Chick-fil-A again. But if you have where are they purchasing from? That franchise, they have a kitchen there, so they're getting their food from another source. Maybe it's from the Chick-fil-A truck or whatever. But as a franchise manager, I guess one of the biggest problems is they'll find ways to cut corners with that food intake. So you you don't know, all of a sudden you find out, oh shoot, they've been cutting corners in these areas, and then you got to go in there and deal with that problem. But if you have your own kitchen, then you're in control of all of those factors there, and they're just customer service after that, pretty much.
Right. And then you can control the product too because you don't want to get so like where you're just spitting out the food so quick that the product suffers.
Yeah, that
So
was the only thing I was thinking of was like there how could there even be another chef, Mama Ara?
She could get them dialed, maybe not as good as her, but if it's 80% as good as her, it's still gonna work
Right.
because hers is that good. So it can afford to lose a tick, you know what I mean?
there you go. It's
Right.
like Breaking Bad when they're making the blue stuff. I don't know if you guys watched that, versus
Yeah, of
having
course.
99% purity versus 97. All right, it's still pretty close.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We've been struggling too because we really fell in love with the cook it the same day. So we get in there and we start the cook probably 4 or something, so that then when people pick it up, it's fresh that day. But then sometimes you gotta just take advice and weigh things and not get too attached to one thing, because it can still be fresh. Like we're shutting ourselves down on these pickup days and cooks. If we were able to cook multiple days and then you have another location, and then you could break it up. But that's been one of the hardest parts of our business, is doing that fresh cook on the same day. If we could get it fresh so that then it's in the refrigerator, at least you're picking it up within 24 hours or something, that might work too.
Right. There's a meal prep company back in Fort Myers and theirs is all like they'll cook it and then they'll set it in the refrigerator and you just pick it up from there.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's probably, if we're going to go big, we're going to have to go in that direction, especially with having those customer service locations. And man, we got to do something so we can get some vegan options for Dana, damn it. That's
True.
got next, man.
Yeah, let me know, man. Hey, let me know if you get a job. I'll come. Are you kidding me? I'll come work for TRC.
Dude, let's go, man. we're about to, it's looking, I can't even, I have to be careful. Like, I don't want to, like, I probably would be okay to talk about a lot of stuff, but there's some crazy stuff going on right now. So it's like, there's like, I gotta get rid of, get super healthy and stuff. But, I mean, be able to stay in the right frame and, or however you say it. But it is, on the other hand, it's been so healthy for me because it's something that I'm so incredibly excited about being a part of. You know what I mean? There's something
Yeah,
just huge like this. So it's good times. And I think too with even with our Untapped podcast, a lot of stuff that I'm seeing developing as time goes ahead, I think is real big. I think real excited about what might be coming up for us. I need to meet with Dana too. We've got to get together, man, and talk about some stuff.
for sure.
Exciting things ahead. Just everybody stick with us. We'd love to hear feedback on all these things we've been talking about today. We love that we've been growing. I think that one we did with Tim hit 1,400 and 1,200 on a clip, and like
Nice. I
we're
didn't see
growing
that.
little by little. We're doing all right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely, I like it better when we're together. It sucks that we freaking have
I
to be
know.
doing it like this.
Well, we
It's
got time.
still
We'll
cool.
figure it out.
Yeah, it's still cool though. This is going. I think it's good that we're doing it like this for maybe a little bit. We have some guests we can bring in, but we can kind of keep this flow, this transition going. At least we're keeping it up once a week. I think that's the hardest thing in these podcasts, doing it once a week.
Yeah, and we could really start working on a list for guests in the future, not right now, obviously. So that way we have like an idea of, okay, we're gonna get these 5 people.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we can use Levi as an excuse. Like, yeah, no pressure. We're just waiting for our star to get back.
Yeah. Or just so that way we know like what we're, you know what I mean? When I'm there, like we can just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that. I like that. And maybe checking in with some of the past guests is a good move because we got House Strong. Jimmy House is
true. That's a good point.
setting up shop in Texas, looking real. I'd love to get an update on how he's doing
Yeah,
for
that's actually a good idea. We should get a Zoom with Jimmy and while we can.
maybe
Yeah.
check in with Nico a little bit later too. I know he's trying to get a fight, man. What's up with these guys? They don't want to fight Nico.
I know I messaged him and asked him like, "Hey, you got anything coming up?" But he didn't respond, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's insane. The comp training at the gym has been just phenomenal. These guys, just watching them, be interesting to see. I'd love for you to peek in on. I know you got to work those days usually, Dana. Like Fridays usually the morning,
hmm
but to Levi to see how it's changed even since the last time we watched comp training. Some of these and there's been some new guys that are like pretty high belts coming in there and working, and it's just such a I think they want to keep it kind of underground secret, but it's such a special thing watching those, man.
Yeah, I mean it's like world multiple world champions in there at all times.
I was
Especially when
talking
Tinquinho, Quishino, like that one day when Quishino and Tinquinho were in there rolling, that was crazy.
or you got a London from our gym, or he's from Aries, but he comes in and trains at our gym too sometimes. He works out at Die Hard over there. Such a great dude, and he's training for, I think it's some kind of worlds. And there he was telling me that at the Goodyear Aries, they're training in there in like a special comp group, and they're training like 6 days a week, 9 in the morning till noon, and that's just their specialized comp training. He still does other comp trainings and other trainings outside the gym. And he said in that room that David Clay, the guy from who's just spectacular looking, I think his sister won worlds. David Clay was like the worst guy in there. You just got all of these like you just killers in one room, just work, and those guys work so hard. All those hours they're putting in, it's insane.
Yeah. And David won, he was the purple belt world champ.
Really? Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. Jeez.
Yeah.
His MMA is, I don't know if he peeked at him, Dana, in his amateur. He had
Yeah,
an
a little bit.
amateur MMA fight. Oh, he looks good, man.
Yeah. I think he's only 18 or 19.
That's wild.
and he's already fighting grown ass men. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Tim Welch behind you too. Oh, look out.
yeah, he's got a chance.
Yeah, so does Levi Kelly, man. Man, we're thinking about you up there, Roble. I don't know if you guys got anything else. Maybe this went even a little longer than I thought. I was trying to make maybe even when we're doing these Zooms, just little quick, almost check-ins,
Yeah.
and things like that. I think is a good idea, but I got nothing else.
Yeah, I got nothing. We got off day tomorrow, and then I'm back on the road.
Jeez, but so you're going right to Eugene, probably what, Tuesday morning?
Yeah, we'll be there Tuesday morning, stay in a hotel until Sunday,
Man,
and then we'll
man,
it's only like 2 hours, so it's not bad.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not a bad drive. I think you're gonna like Eugene. It's a nice vibe over there. There's a lot of hippies in the area.
Yeah, I mean, I like it here. It's just the weather is miserable.
Oh, man, now you're talking my language. That's
The
why I
weather
don't live.
is,
I can't stand. I did not know how bad it was growing up until I lived somewhere else. It is the worst weather I've ever lived in. No,
it's unbelievable. And I
most of the
can't
people
believe
there,
how
they're
bad
like,
it is.
the people that are like, Oregon's the greatest state or whatever. It's like, you guys never lived anywhere else.
No,
I
I
got
don't know
lucky.
how people do it. The
Oh,
sun,
man.
I mean, the sun's out for maybe 30 minutes a day.
And that's good, right? That's good. That's good. You might not see the sun for like 3 months. I mean, June, July, and August get better, but it's a short. Maybe you're gonna see the sun 60% of the time. Eastern Oregon again is I love that. That doesn't rain as much. It's a whole nother thing. But man, the whole Portland metro area is the weather is not my vibe.
Yeah, I rode my bike to the field today because I needed to do cardio, and it was pissing the rain the whole way.
And the wind, it's the wind too, right? That's hitting you with the
Yeah,
rain.
but I was just like, at some point I got to get outside, and so I might as well get used to the rain
Yeah.
because I'm just gonna have to do it outside in the rain and just get used to that, which sucks, but it's better than not doing anything.
Hey, Team Quest came out of there. You got some of the toughest people of all time that trained up in Oregon. Randy Couture and Chael Sonnen and those guys. Man, it'll make you tough, but man, it sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, brothers.
All right.
I
That's
think
all I got.
we're good for today, man. It's so good I love these times. Man, if we just got in here and didn't even do a podcast and we just went out and talked, I'd be pretty happy. So
Yeah. It's good to just check in.
Well,
all right,
yeah,
brother.
I'll come and see you, Kyle.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, we got to talk, man. We got to catch up.
All right, boys.
All right,
boys.
guys. Love
Peace.
everybody. Thanks for watching Untapped episode 21. Look out for what's next. Give us feedback. Chime in. Peace.
Peace, boys.
Peace.